welcome to TrainNet. Welcome. You are the train hive mind.
Yes, I need to use a steam locomotive.
All we have is Steam, the place you buy games from.
Exterminate!
I don't know what the fuck we're doing, but welcome to the podcast.
I don't know. They don't either. It's okay, no one does.
Dogs, they're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
Hey, they're the dog people, aren't they?
Remember a time
You can't give up. There's gotta be a way.
when anything
Why don't you just drive her out of here?
was possible.
Should go all right, but where?
How about a museum?
I've got an idea. I should drive the 587 to the museum.
That time is now.
So what do you say? Let's get going.
Yeah.
She's looking good now, son. It's like she knows we're trying to save her.
We might have something on track 162.
They are involved in a train robbery.
You've got a possible head-on collision.
Danger!
Come on, we need more speed.
587, come in.
587, the Great Train Robbery.
Kansas City, here we come.
Remember a time
Hello, this is the 587.
when anything was possible.
This is Rough Cuts. We watch movies with dogs, and then we rate the dogs at the end. I'm Boix. That's Ilion. I have been known to do a crime against my good friend and co-host. And
in such a way that you first pre-venged me, where you went, take this one for what you did to me last time. And I went, wait, what? What one? And you're like, I don't remember. Take this.
you'll do something to me in the future. I know it.
And then I went, hey, you know what? We've had some really bad movies recently, and I want to just give you like a little Christmas present. You can pick any movie that you want. And you decided to pick the worst goddamn shit you could find on purpose again. So I'm glad that you picked something good today, because this was a treat.
This was something. It was baffling.
It was one that I was excited to watch with you, because this is another film from our good friend who did Easy Money, which was episode...
Dan T. Hall is the director, yeah.
Yes, yeah, Dan Hall. Was it it was episode 200 and something, I think?
It was around episode 200. It wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago. But Easy Money is some of the most fun that I've had on this podcast. It's
one of the most weird movies we've done. That was also like interestingly weird.
Yes. This man is a genius. He's very, very good at filmmaking, and everyone should give him lots and lots of money to keep making film.
What we were worried about. So Easy Money was fucked up and weird.
Yes.
And this movie was 5 years prior.
Yeah.
So we were worried that it would be boring and that he didn't get experimental until he made Easy Money. And I have good news.
I mean, good news and bad. It's still boring.
It's still boring, but it's a lot more experimental than I thought it would be.
It's a lot. It's not nearly as good as Easy Money.
No.
I will say. It's not nearly on that level. But it's baffling. It's got some choices.
From the list of largely unknown films that we usually watch, most of them don't have a lot of reviews online.
Yeah.
We're typically digging up trash and then finding a hint of gold. Like a golden needle in a pile of used needles.
We're constantly panning, but it's like panning but in that Jigsaw video game where you're like the Saw games where you have to reach into the toilet filled with syringes. It's like that.
It's like that.
Trying to find gold.
This one has reviews, but I highly suspect that they are false reviews for a lot of them.
What?
Because there's 980 reviews on IMDb. And
I'm sure half of them have actual written text around them, right?
4, maybe 5.
Oh.
And of those are mostly all negative.
Huh.
And then you go to Rotten Tomatoes, and it's like, 250 people have reviewed this. It's really good. It's a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is it?
And the reviews that have text on Rotten Tomatoes are all 1 star or less. So I think, and I could be projecting here, based on my opinion of this film.
We liked it.
I did like it.
We'd be part of the 96%.
But I think there might be false reviews for this movie.
This movie's fucking garbage. It's terrible. But it's terrible in some good ways.
Yeah.
There's no way that it has 1,000 legit reviews. There's no way.
I can't imagine 1,000 people having watched this, let alone decided to go online and be like, I should review that afterwards.
Yeah, like these kinds of movies are hard to find and often just like free uploads on YouTube kind of thing for this type of movie. Yeah. Or finding it in, like, a weird PAL region-only DVD or something on eBay. Like, this is totally unknown. There's no way that it has that many reviews. It just doesn't make any sense at all.
It was dumped on Prime. Although we watched...
it was, yeah.
We watched a backup copy instead. But... this is definitely one of those more unknown ones. Just like Easy Money. Nobody's watched Easy Money.
No. And I mean, we've seen a lot of, like, relatively unknown kind of movies. Or even ones that are, like, maybe even kind of known, like a Beverly Hills Chihuahua or something, right? I would doubt that Beverly Hills Chihuahua has 1,000 reviews.
Like the third one that we watched? Probably not.
Or like the second
Or the second one?
Or
Probably
like,
not.
Or like
Probably
Pupstar or something. Like, I doubt that Pupstar has 1,000 reviews. Like, nobody's reviewing a obscure 2000 VHS, like, made-for-TV ass movie like this and putting it up on Rotten Tomatoes. There's not 1,000 people doing that. It's just... absolutely impossible. I can't believe it.
And you might be asking yourself, why am I making a big deal of this? So on our podcast, we try to look for movies that are contentious. At least 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is 50% of the audience has decided that they like this film, and 50% has said they don't.
Yeah.
96 is not something we usually look at.
No.
Because it's like, what's the point? Everybody likes it already.
This is going to be good. Yeah.
But
this is bullshit.
This one...
this is bullshit.
This is definitely bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
That said, my God, this is our bullshit.
Hey, it's our bullshit. I found this one to be a lot more boring than Easy Money. Like we talked about a lot. It's got a lot of downtime. So while we're talking about the good parts of this film, you have to remember that so much of this movie is just like them staring wistfully out of the train window as like Midwestern USA goes by, which, oh my God, Midwestern USA is like
so much B-roll of hay bales.
Yeah. Hay bales and like, you know, forest fields, things like that. It's just nothing.
The film, by the way, I don't know if I said the title. It is Old 587, The Great Train Robbery. So you might think a kid's film about a train robbery. So
they're stopping it, right?
They're stopping the robbery. Criminals are going to take over the train, and them and their cool dog need to stop them from stealing the train.
Yeah, obviously there's some bungling idiots that are going to try and take the train.
No. The other thing it could be, though, just based on the title, this train, it needs to get going again. This old guy who lives on the train, it's his train that he lives in?
Yes, yeah, of course.
He needs to get it running, so the kids need to go help raise money to save the farm, train farm.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
And they're gonna run, I don't know, a car wash or something, and then raise a bunch of funds, and that's not enough. So they get a rich investor who's like, "Don't worry, kids, I'll save the train for you because of all the hard work and effort you put in."
No.
Oh, that's not it. What else could they do? I don't.
Well, they could steal a train.
Oh, it's just about them doing crime.
Yeah,
that's the film.
You know how I said that there was going to be a bunch of bungling idiots that stole a train? I was kind of right. You said no, but technically,
yeah,
it's just that the bungling idiots are the heroes.
Yeah.
It's the best goddamn premise. So the idea is we have like our main kid who's inventor kid question mark.
He's like handy kid that likes to make things out of other things. So that's kind of an inventor, I guess.
And mostly just get in trouble. Mostly he likes stealing, as it turns out.
Mostly he just steals things, yeah.
Mostly just steals. And he has a conversation early on with his father that fucking sent me, because it goes throughout the movie as a theme, where he's like, his dad goes, okay, listen, because he made a boxcar out of a bunch of stuff stolen from out the house. And the dad goes, listen, you gotta, when you're borrowing things like that, I know that you try and borrow, but you have to return the things if it's borrowing. And he goes, yeah, I know, Dad, I'm sorry, I'm trying. And he goes, well, as long as you're trying, son.
Listen, son, you need to stop killing people with a knife. It's not okay. Well, I'm trying, come on.
Well, as long as it's your best effort.
As long as it's your best effort. Here's this pocket knife. Have a good one, kid.
Well, like, that's exactly the energy of it.
Okay.
This kid is just stealing and doing crime all over the place, and they're like, well, but he's trying to be good. And it's like, I don't think how that works.
I don't even think he's trying, to be
No,
fair.
he's not.
He's doing the exact opposite of trying. He's just doing crime.
And I love him for it. I love him for it so much.
Alex, you really should remember to ask before you borrow things, okay?
I know, Dad. Try to do better.
That's all we can ask, son, is that you do your best.
The dad, by the way, is in
God.
so many like Final Destination scenes at the beginning of this movie, and things just killing him in horrible graphic nature. Like he's trying to move a wheelbarrow that the kid has stolen a wheel from, and it like tips over as he's trying to move it. Which I don't know how he didn't notice it was missing a wheel, first of all. Or he didn't like remove the bricks from inside of it or something before trying to move it.
Yeah, he makes it so that it's like really, really hard to move. Like he's like, oh my god, like I can barely move it. I don't understand why it's so hard to move. Like lifting up. But the thing is, if the wheel's stolen, that's not going to make it heavier. That doesn't make it harder to lift. It just means that it's going to tip over. So it eventually tips over, but it's like, well, he must have overloaded the wheelbarrow first, though, because it's not like, it's just the dumbest scene.
Like he
it's
caused
him
his own
struggling
problem.
so hard with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But as he's tipping over, he lands on some motor oil, which covers him. And then he's like lifting up, he grabs a pillowcase of feathers.
Yep, and it falls down.
Down, and he tars and feathers himself.
Well, because then he tries to grab another thing, and he grabs the lawnmower and puts it into gear.
And the lawnmower starts like pulling
his
head in, right?
Yeah, well, it runs over the pillow and fucking sends the feathers everywhere, and then it starts dragging him in, and his wife has to save him.
Okay, I'm starting to think maybe this is fucked up still.
What is happening? Why is it on bricks?
I don't know.
Why is he trying to pull it over if it's on bricks?
I don't know. Oh my god, what the fuck what is happening?
What?
Oh Jesus. This man's getting, Final Destination. Tarred and feathered.
Tarred and feathered in his garage.
Okay? What on earth?
I wonder what he used that
Which, by the way, I'm just gonna call the wife Kitchen Mom.
She is 1950s Kitchen Mom.
Holy shit.
Like,
it's
really bad.
It's real bad. Like, I can't believe you do that to my good broom, because women have favorite brooms, because that's what we do, is we clean.
And I saw you take my new blender that I use for kitchen. Nah.
How dare you do my blender in my kitchen? Don't you ever go in my kitchen again. Every 5 seconds she's saying kitchen or an appliance that she likes. You know, all of her favorite appliances that she uses.
But so the movie starts with a boxcar race, which has nothing to do with trains.
No.
And it's
not even a little.
It's a really long sequence of this boxcar race of just pointless nothingness. As these kids are all racing, and there's a boxcar club. And kids are constantly running into the street being like, I'm gonna get run over first. No, me.
Yeah, they're not doing this as like an officially sanctioned thing. They're just trying to shut down the roads themselves and hoping that it works out.
Yeah.
As they like race their boxcars on an actual public highway.
So our main kid drives into the forest.
Yes.
Because his boxcar is messing up because it started breaking apart. And this somehow launches him over a ramp into the air. Like 40
forest ramp.
Like 40 feet. Somehow.
Don't worry, he's fine.
And then he just lands. But he lands in front of the 587, an old steam train.
Yes.
Right? So him and all the kids show up, and they're like, wow, it's an old steam train. I bet we could do crime on this.
I forgot, actually. I said that he would be fine, but there was a line in there where they went, too much gravity. He'll never race again.
Yeah, I don't... One of the kids runs up and he's like, you know what your problem was? You had too much gravity.
Too much gravity. Nope. Just killed his racing career.
That fits into the why are there so many baffling lines in this movie that make no sense? What does too much gravity mean?
I think you had too much gravity.
That one's all. This is going to be a hard one for us to really cover because the lines are all just super stilted dialogue. There's a lot of scenes of like this girl talking to him through a video call.
Oh my god.
56K modem.
The
where
56K video hacker.
Reading the lines off of the screen as she stares very woodenly at it and talks kind of like this. Okay, is that good? Yeah, we got it. Okay, we're not gonna do that again. No, all right. Keep going.
She talks like this, but at the same time, she's like, "I'm going to hack into the mainframe."
Yeah, it's all that. Yeah.
I'm just a kid. I can't do that. No, not by yourself. You could get the engineer to help. He could drive the train to the museum. You could help him. And I could keep you both up on track from my computer by accessing the switches and getting clearance. The way to do this is to take the branch lines across the main line and park the 587 at the front door of the museum. How could they say no?
And there's just so much of that. Every character talks like they're an alien.
Every character's an alien. But speaking of aliens, so an old guy walks up and scares all the kids that are messing around on his steam train. One of which, by the way, activates a steam release.
Yes.
Which blasts hot steam.
Yep.
Boiling hot steam into the face of one of the children.
Trains be dangerous, actually.
Who is somehow fine.
Yep.
But in real life, her face is horribly burned.
Oh yeah, she's fucking dead. Her eyeballs melted. Like, that is... Scene is not to be fucked with, as
there's
it
so
turns
many
out.
just horror moments that I don't think are intentional.
No.
Here's the break. Oh my god, Emily!
But he scares away a bunch of the kids, except for our main character who gets his shoelace tied in a knot around a piece of wood.
Yeah, to the railroad tracks.
It's supposed to be
stuck on it.
It's supposed to be stuck, but he literally tied it into a knot himself. I saw that.
You can see the knot on the in the video. It's really good.
So our nameless slasher, old man, walks towards him with a knife. Did you know this director made horror movies after this? I'm starting to figure out why. But he goes in for the kill and cuts his shoelace. And then the kid's like, hey man, what are you doing with the steam train? And also, why'd you try to kill me? Well, you see, the steam train's gonna be scrapped in 2 days, kid. It's gone forever. It's fucking dead. Now get the hell out of my goddamn yard. So the kid's like, well, you can't scrap a piece of history, a living piece of history, like the 587 steam train. I'm a child.
Well, I was gonna say, as 7-year-olds would talk.
So he decides to call the scrapyard and get more information about it with his
oh my god, right.
sex toy voice alterer. I don't know what that thing was. It was making like sexy noises.
Would you like to play a game? Sorry, who is this? Like,
yeah, it was very Jigsaw, but then it was like,
very Jigsaw.
Hey, handsome, you want to go on a date?
I know, and then it started just like doing its own voice. Why did it have its own voice?
It would just talk on its own.
Well, we have lots of engines in the yard, sir.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm interested in the old steam locomotive.
Hey, baby. You're a sweet thing.
Hello? Hello? I'm sorry, sir. Did you hear that?
And at some point, it's like, as it's talking to the guy, and this is just to give us, the audience, plot information.
Sure.
Directly reading the plot to us, the audience. Of like, hey, yeah, it's going to get scrapped in 2 days. There's a museum that wants it, but they can't afford it because it costs way too much to move a fucking train. So they have to pull it apart piece by piece and ship it, but that's too expensive, so we're just going to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But then...
Makes sense.
The stupid voice alterer starts talking to this guy on the phone. He's like, welcome to Shitbag Radio. We got dicks and farts. And like, stuff like that.
Yeah. Like, yeah, no, this is actually a radio prank. Ha, that's why I didn't give you my name. Bye.
Oh, which radio is it? It's ICUP Radio. And then...
They go on this for
like
3 minutes.
3 minutes of this guy being, wow, ICUP? Oh, is that like a French radio? What does that mean? Like... What?
And all the other people coming in and talking to the guy behind him, going like, isn't it the UCIP? And he's like, no, it's ICUP.
What?
What?
Say, who are you anyway?
Radio, R-A-D-O, radio.
Is this one of those radio station gags?
You're on live with WICUP.
Why, that's my favorite station. Listen to it all the time. I'm on the radio. ICUP. Have you heard of it?
UPIC?
No. ICUP. You know?
Is that some kind of French toilet thing?
You're on radio, R-A-D-O, radio.
Time for another commercial break. And for all the fans of ICUP, thanks for watching.
So then the kid's like, well, I can't let the past just sit there and rot.
I, a small child, care so much about steam engines and history.
So that night, his dad shows up. This is like 1 a.m.
Yeah, they decide because all of the stuff that he stole to make the boxcar, Dad goes, you know what? We should get all that stuff. When should we do it? In the middle of the night.
Yeah, so they go out with flashlights in the middle of the night to a scrapyard. And the kid's like, oh yeah, there was an old guy with a murder knife who tried to kill me and warned me about never coming here again. He lives there, and I think he took my stuff.
And his dad goes, okay. Well, obviously the right thing to do would be for us to come back in the morning, politely ask for him to return our things. So what we're gonna do is the wrong thing.
I'm starting to think I know why this kid steals things.
I'm starting to get it. He's just trying as hard as his dad does. Because they just break the fuck into his home.
No, his dad's like, hey, make sure you knock first so nobody knows that, so that if there's somebody there, we don't alert them.
Now, it might not be somebody's home, but you should still knock. If not to be polite, then to scare away the rats, snakes, and other miscellaneous creatures that may be afoot.
What miscellaneous creatures?
Oh, you know, the kind that sleep under your bed at night.
And then after he tells him, like, do not just open doors and go into places, he opens the door and goes in and just starts rummaging around in this guy's stuff.
Yeah, that's the best part. Is it's not even like they go, oh, well, where are our things? Let's get our stuff and just get out. It's like, hey, do you see this photo of him? And he's just like going through all of his like medicine cabinet, like,
oh, here's his wallet. Wow, $20. He starts
picking photos off the walls. Like, what are you doing?
So then it shows more horror shots of our old guy with a knife.
Yeah.
The dad takes a knife from his room and pockets it like he's gonna stab the guy.
Yes.
And then the dog, he has a dog. It's like a border collie named Sparky.
Yeah, the locomotive guy.
The locomotive guy. That dog walks in. It's a very cute dog. And the dad looks at the dog, and the kid looks at the dog, and the dad's like, don't let him see your fear, kid.
Yes!
And pulls out the knife.
Dad? Miscellaneous creature!
Don't let him see your fear, son. Here, let me try this. I used to watch Lassie when I was a kid. Easy boy. Easy boy. Go get Timmy. Go get Timmy.
And then the old guy just opens the door. He's like, hey, what are you doing in my place? Oh, we see you stole all my stuff? Oh, yeah, I did do that.
Oh, yeah. You can just take it. What? You don't have anything else to say to these fucking break and enter artists? Like, I'm gonna call the cops? Or
nothing, yeah.
No, nothing, just, okay. Sure.
Anyway.
Very human reaction.
See you
Have
next.
a good night, guys.
Have a good night, yeah, bye.
Yeah, like, that's very much what the interaction is he's like, oh, you guys are here. Yeah, I've got all the stuff in the corner. Thanks for coming in. See you later. And you're like, they broke into your home. Get your dog with a knife.
Oh, before you leave, can you give me my wallet back? That'd be great.
Yeah, like...
okay, man.
Hey, can you put all those pictures that you took down off the walls to look at with, like, my family and the trains, can you put those back? Because that's kind of rude. Like,
we also learned that the kid's grandpa is dead. So it is a dog movie.
Yes. Yep.
Because Dad's like, look, I don't care how much that old guy is creepy with a knife and stabbing people. He's not your grandpa. Your grandpa's dead, kid.
God, I forgot they gave him that motivation. Because they never mentioned grandpa again. They never show, like, photos
it's
of
irrelevant.
grandpa. There's nothing.
It's irrelevant.
There's this one scene where he goes like, yeah, he looks exactly like your grandpa, and that's why you're going to do everything that he says for the rest of the movie. But you probably shouldn't. Anyway, as long as you're trying, son, it's okay.
So good. so they go home the next day. It's the morning now.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid's mom shows up. He's like, okay, now remember, because he stole all that stuff, I said no Nintendo. And he's got like a Sega Genesis. She just calls everything a Nintendo, right? But
absolutely.
But she's like, no Nintendo. So he doesn't go on the Nintendo, and instead, he logs online on his dial-up modem. And where does he go?
Well, you gotta connect into the Trave mine. The
train hive mind?
Yes, the Trave mine.
This is fucking weird. This
is the stuff that I live for. This is the good shit.
And no Nintendo. Read.
I am trying to find help for an engine. There is a steam engine in perfect working order. In 2 days, it is going to be cut up. Gone forever.
How about a museum?
Got a place to take it, but no money to move it there. It would run on its own power, though.
Don't know if this helps, but if the track were open, maybe you could drive it there.
Me drive? Yeah, right. But the old guy, the engineer, could drive her.
Talk to Wendy. Her dad works for Railcorp.
Who is Wendy?
I am.
Do you really think it can travel under its own power? Yes, that's what the engineer said.
So you have a working steam engine.
And an engineer to drive it? The old guy at the yard. He's been running the 587 his whole life. I think we need to chat in private. Do you have Cool Talk on your computer? Just downloaded it. Log on when my parents go to bed around 11. I've got an idea. See ya.
It's like VR chat forum live chat room with everybody has like an Andros face.
Yes, they only have a head. And it's only like 12 polygons total.
And he's asking the internet hive mind of train enthusiasts in their cult VR chat room of Andros heads.
Yeah, there's fucking plain out old headless, like, God, just bodiless heads floating in cyberspace, announcing their presence as trains.
This sounds like something we would make up as a joke, and it's just fucking weird.
It's so good. They all have like weird voice like modulators too.
Yeah,
to make them sound more cybernetic. Because
it's just like when Xbox Live came out originally. They're like, hey, if you're getting harassed online, don't worry, you can just change your voice. We fixed it.
God.
Anyway, so while in the hacker train hive mind chat room. He finds Hacker Girl, who video calls him on a 56K modem at 60 FPS with a 1920 by 1080 resolution video. And she's like, don't worry, I know how to hack into the mainframe and get information about the train line so we can get that train going. You're just going to need to move that train. Now, they said they can't move it because it's too expensive, but I figured out how to do it.
It turns out trains, they're on tracks. And this track goes directly to the museum that they can't afford to make it to.
You could just drive the train there.
You could drive it. It's a thing that no one else tried.
Oh.
What if you just drove the train?
Oh. I don't know why we didn't think of that one.
Man, it was they never connected into TrainNet. That was the problem. You had to get all of the TrainNet experts on it. You had to talk to the council.
It's so dumb.
Of disembodied train heads.
After they get this information, the boxcar crew decide to all individually research how trains work. By getting like those train schematic picture books.
I was gonna say, well, train schematic book makes it sound like an actual adult book. We're talking about like the children's like 3D cutout book.
Like they got a Magic Eye book that shows trains when you cross your eyes. You're like, oh, I know trains now. Like
you hear a dial-up modem, and then he's just like, I know trains.
There's a lot of you hear a dial-up modem, and then
there's a lot of dial-up modem, and then there's a lot of it. It feels like a shitpost half the time.
Detective, look at this piece of paper.
Fucking kills
what?
Me. There's so many.
Thought you'd like to see this, detective.
They cut to dial-up noise so many times when it's like, hey, look at this, and then it's always a dial-up note, and then cut to a new scene. Why is it cut to dial-up? It's the best thing ever, but why?
So our main kid and boxcar crew ambush old man at his shack in the scrapyard. They're like, we need to save that train. We've been developing a master plan using the hacker net. It turns out you can just drive these things.
But they move.
But we need a driver, and you're the best we got. And then he's like, but children, if we steal that train, I'll get arrested for abducting you, and also for grand larceny of train.
This seems like it'd be a real problem. When did this movie come out, by the way?
Oh, 2000.
Okay, yeah. Because I don't think 2002 would have been able to go out anymore.
So the kids talk him into stealing the train, which is the Great Train Robbery.
Mm-hmm.
And they do, but in order to steal the train, they need to change the track. Yes. And they have 24 hours to do it. So they wait until the last second.
So they send two kids to stand next to the switch, and they say, okay, once the train gets a high enough rate of speed and looks like it's coming towards you and is in real danger of derailing, try and throw that switch.
It'll be
Are
very
you going to test
funny.
it beforehand?
No.
Why?
No, it'll be
Why would we do that?
It'll be really funny.
It's a great prank.
So they start doing that, and they drive the train at top speed. If it goes below 60, the bomb explodes. And
bomb? Sorry, what? Huh? No, don't worry, kids. just keep driving this train. Call the FBI. I have demands.
Lamp oil, rope, bombs. You want it? It's yours, my friend, as long as you have enough rubies.
The guys that are like in the train yard or the scrap yard or whatever, like, oh, somebody's stealing our train, but they're not gonna make it. Hey, call the cops. And as they're calling the cops, they see a dog is driving train. And they're like, who is driving train? Dog is driving train. How can this be? It must be dog.
Quickly, in here! Who is driving? Oh my god, Bear is driving! How can that be?
Because they just see it in a window. That's the reason for it. It's not like they see it, like, holding any of the conductor's stuff. Like, it's not like they're moving gears or something. There's just a dog leaning out the window, and they go, well, obviously a dog stole the train. It's the only explanation.
So they call the cops. They're like, hey, a dog stole our train? And then the cops show up. They're like, wow, a dog stole your train. Yeah, I thought it was a goat, but that doesn't make sense. Dog, though.
Definitely could be dog.
Hey! Hey, stop that engine now! You see that? There's a dog driving that thing!
I see it, but I don't believe it.
You better call it in!
Me call it in? You saw it first, you call it in!
I'm the boss, you're the peon, you call it in!
You call it in!
Alright, so what should we do, sir, for this stolen train? Should we, like, alert the FBI, shut down some train track? I think we should put it up on the news, maybe.
Should we do anything to stop them? Do what? Huh?
Huh? I mean, we did the news.
It's true, yeah. So they do a news report saying the train was stolen, these awful criminals, there's this pervert that has abducted these children.
Mm-hmm.
And also these two children are master criminals. We're going to put their name and face on the news.
Yeah, they released their full names.
Yeah. They sure do.
Which is how Dad sees it while he's in the airport because he's doing business.
He's doing business at the airport. And also on his, like, 7th pot of coffee.
Yes. They make a big point of how much coffee he's had because business.
Okay.
I don't know. The dialogue is absolutely fascinating.
The dialogue in this scene feels like The Room, when they're like, oh, I am buying some flowers. Hello, doggy. Oh, you're my favorite customer.
The waitress at one point, this, like, 60-year-old lady, is like,
yeah,
well, you know, hon, I'll keep you topped up if that's what you need. And you're like, wait, is
she hitting on him?
Is she hitting? Like, it has this real weird, like, it feels like the start of a very, very awkward porn. It's like just real strange energy.
Yeah, but the dad sees them on the news and he goes running home, and the mom, who cannot leave the kitchen, is mad at him because somebody needs to do something to help her kids, and she can't because she's stuck in the kitchen.
Yep, she's even, like, running reporters off of their property because everybody's there and it's a media circus by waving hands out the kitchen window because she can't leave kitchen.
I forgot when the dad and the kid left that night. She was just monologuing all of her complaints at the front door to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that was about. I think she might have some issues.
They really don't know what to do with women in this.
No. Okay, so the train's going down the track. It can't go slower than 60 or it explodes. And it's running low on water.
Yeah.
So it stops. And it's...
All right, kid, get out and find me water.
What? In the middle... By the way, they haven't brought any food or water or anything with them other than a laptop that has dial-up.
That has dial-up and still works on this
There's
train.
Constant scenes of,
this
like,
steam train.
Cutting to this train moving and then a dial-up noise. You're like, what?
And then him talking into a FMV, like you said, is running at like 60 FPS of this hacker train girl reading her lines directly off the screen that she's looking at. And in the bottom corner, it says 56 kbs.
It's so good. How long is the
like,
cable?
everything's wrong.
Like, how
It's
long
so
is
good.
this cable? Like, is it still plugged in? It must
Obviously.
be. It must be.
It has to be. That's what they used to do with steam trains. You know, when they made steam and modems, 56 baud modems.
They could very easily track the train by following the 56K phone cord,
line,
right?
The phone cord. I would think you'd be very easy to find the train by realizing that they operate on a track.
The what? Huh?
What?
But the kids find Huckleberry Finn fishing in the river.
Yes.
And they're like, hey, can you find us some water around here? Anywhere where there's water? As they're standing next to the river.
Well, you need something to pump the water is the thing. Because a locomotive would need a lot of water. Like, a lot of water.
How much, like...
Tons of water.
Like,
literal tons.
1 bucket, maybe? 2?
Yeah, that's probably good enough.
2 buckets?
Maybe 3 or 4.
So they get the bucket brigade.
Of, like, 8-year-olds?
Of 8-year-olds to just get buckets from the river. Half to a quarter full at a time.
I was gonna say, the best part is they're almost empty because buckets of water, like big buckets like they have, are real fucking heavy. Like 70, 80 pound plus. There's no way these kids could carry them. So they've got like tiny little splashes of water in the bottom of these buckets and they like pass it along this whole brigade. Oh man.
But they refill the steam engine and the train gets going again.
It's a magical journey.
I guess. Like this
It's a magical felony that they're doing.
There's a lot of accomplices to this crime at this point.
Aiding and abetting, aiding and abetting, aiding and abetting.
Speaking of which, Hacker Girl is hacking into Railcore.
Yes.
Afterwards. And after she hacks the system by typing in the password 111111, damn, 111112. Damn. 111113. I'm in.
Yeah.
She just brute force.
That was it.
She brute force logs in.
Yes. I forgot that she did that. They just show her doing it over and over until she gets it right.
Railcore remote access request. Access denied. Please re-enter your password. Access denied. Please re-enter your password. Access granted.
Sorry I had to send you on a wild goose chase, Daddy, but I need to know about the last switch before the main line. I'm saving the 587. This should help.
Begin download.
So dumb, but she downloads the train schedules, I think. And she realizes that a train is going to crash into the 587 because they're on the same rail.
Yeah, she does that, and she also gets the switches. At first, she got the switches from it. Later on, she realizes that they're going to crash, but she gets that they can switch onto the main track from a switch up ahead kind of thing.
Yep. So she goes to her father, the head of the FBI call train division.
Yes.
Call center train division.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like,
yeah, no, the FBI has that, definitely.
Dad, I know you know I'm a hacker and I do crime, but I fucked up.
I fucked up real bad. Well, as long as you're trying your best, daughter.
I was trying to tell the 587, you know, that crime that was on the news that I'm helping with, that there's a train coming at them, but the driver can't slow down because he's listening to Van Halen. And
God, yes. There's another train on the track, and the driver immediately like turns off his radio, kicks it into high gear, and then like puts on headphones and falls asleep. It's ridiculous. Does like absolutely everything possible to make it so that he won't be able to stop his train.
But she's like, you gotta call 587 and let them know. So they call 587. And this is, by the way, because she lost contact with them because their 56K dial-up modem phone cable ran out.
Ran out of distance.
Ran out. So they couldn't get back online.
but their phone cord, that's still connected.
It's true. So they call...
So they phone them up on their steam locomotive.
They phone the steam locomotive. And
this movie rules.
and they're like, in Morse code on the phone, train, collision, up ahead, danger.
Head on, collision, danger!
And then the old guy's like, hey, give me that phone. Give me that phone.
Why the hell are you talking like that?
This wasn't Morse code at all. What are you doing?
They're just talking. It's a phone.
And they're like, okay, you're going to need to slow down because that train ahead of you can't slow down and they don't know what's coming. And you're going to all have to abandon that train. And that guy's just going to hit it and fucking die in a horrible crash. But at least you'll be fine. But I can't abandon the train. I mean, come on, it's its last run. Come on.
Plus, I've got all these hostages aboard. Is this a trick to let me get the hostages off? No. I promise, if you let the hostages off that train, we'll let you have them reboard later.
You need to give me 5 bags of cash, a helicopter. So he lets the kids off, and then they're like, don't worry. Isn't there like a switch up ahead? Yeah. What if I just fucking gun it?
What if I just gun it towards the other train as fast as possible?
And then the FBI train guy's like, I'm on board. Fucking...
You son of a bitch.
You
just
son
might
of
work.
a bitch.
Man.
Fucking floor it.
Okay, against my better judgment, we're gonna try this. Get the kids off the engine, put that thing in high gear, and pray that you make it.
Hell yeah, I've never seen 2 trains hit at high speed. The best part about this plan is, like you said, they hit the switch, and so that means that he can turn his train off of that track.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to the other train when the switch is...
Oh, it derails and he horribly dies still. Yeah, the other guy's
like
super dead, yeah.
So if he'd just gotten off the 587, that would have been just as good. Okay. Yeah, anyway.
So they do a head-on collision moment, and the train gets by somehow, magically, through magic. And then they stop, they pick up all the children again.
He just gets the hostages back. They just let him do it. Don't worry about it.
And they're still driving towards the museum. But the old man has contracted train disease.
Yes! Just out of nowhere, I forgot his train
for no reason.
He's doing totally fine, then all of a sudden the kid looks at him and goes, hey mister, are you not doing okay? And he goes, my train disease. And he clutches his chest really bad.
I forgot I have bonitis.
What?
I was too busy being a train criminal.
You need a doctor.
Oh, no. Don't you worry about me, Alex. I'll be all right. Let's just get this old girl home. Come on, Alex.
What is this about? And it's like, you're gonna have to drive it the rest of the way. Oh no, that'll
here's the throttle.
Tension.
What about the brakes?
Train disease. It's like this'll certainly add some tension. It does not add any tension. The kid just drives it totally fine.
Yeah, he just drives it. They go to the museum.
Drives it into the train museum.
There's a crowd.
Waiting crowds that love this train crime. They're all like, woo, you took those kids hostage.
Yep. So the cops are there to meet them. And
fuck the cops.
And the old guy comes out, and the main director of the FBI or whatever, this other guy, walks up and is like, now listen here, you sick son of a bitch. Abducting children, stealing a train, doing crime. I should fucking lock you up for the rest of your goddamn life, train disease man.
But, officer, I'm trying to be better.
Well, okay.
Well, as long as you're trying, sir.
And then the museum director's like, no, let me first welcome him to the train museum. You can arrest him later.
Russell Stockman. For robbery, kidnapping, transporting goods across state lines. I should lock you up.
But first, let me thank you and welcome you to the Steam City Museum.
I am the real power in this scenario. Me, ancient train museum man.
And then we see the old guy being carried away on a stretcher from his train disease.
With his dog in his lap.
And then the dad and mom show up, I guess. They're like, welcome back, son. We're glad you did all that crime, but don't do it again.
I'll try.
And then the kid's like, what should I steal next? A boat? Maybe a plane? Maybe a car?
Alex, no more borrowing anything ever again.
Right, Dad.
And Molly, if he ever tries to get you involved in another crazy scheme, call 911. You got it?
Yeah, Dad, I got it. 911.
Now that's effective parenting.
Hey, Dad! Look at that old boat. It's beautiful. You don't think they're really gonna scrap her, do you?
Alex!
Yeah, don't talk about him stealing planes in 2000.
That's what he's doing,
Yeah,
though.
no, I know that like I said, you can't make this movie in 2002. You know, they always say that you can't make movies nowadays because of woke, that this movie would get canceled.
Anyway, the movie just ends. There's no, like,
That's the end of it,
epilogue.
yeah.
It's just then. The crime was done, but it's cool or whatever, I guess.
Old man's getting taken away to get his train disease looked at.
Is he alive? Did
That's
he
it.
die? I don't know.
Well, train disease is often terminal, so... See, because trains have there's terminals.
I want to know more about TrainNet and the Hive Mind network of train enthusiasts.
You don't want to get involved in the Hive Mind network of train enthusiasts.
The train
Have you ever
cult.
walked into a hobby store and seen the dead eyes that follow you around the room? You don't need that horror in your life, boys.
What a weird movie.
Grown men in conductors' overalls and hats.
This definitely is a film. It has a dog. Let's rate the dog. The dog does so little.
I think it's Sparky or Scrappy.
It's Sparky, I think. Yeah,
Sparky.
It's a border collie. That dog steals trains. Technically, kinda. That dog also decided that when the train was going to crash, and they had to do the speed moment of, oh god, we're gonna get in a collision. That dog was like, I'm going down with the ship, actually. I could bail, but...
I'm staying here. I'm crime dog.
That is a loyal dog. That is a dog that will always follow you into crime. And I think that's a pretty cool dog.
I'm giving this dog trying out of 10. It's trying its best, and that's all that really matters.
I'm giving this dog a good 12 out of 10. I'm going to rate that dog with a number.
Wow, that's some real respect.
And 12, as we all know, if you multiply it by 100 and then divide by 7, add the puppy factor. Throw in a couple train, rails. Divide it by 56K.
I know this math. Yeah, divide it by 56K, and then you do the equal sign like the train tracks.
Yep. And that equals 587. That's my rating.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe it all came back around. That's just math, too.
That's just math. Yeah. You know what else
Speaking
is math?
of just math.
Yeah,
you can math our... God damn it. You can math money up in our Patreon. Make that number go up. Blake's nodding.
That's where I was going.
Yep. We do have a Patreon, though. We do buy a lot of these movies. Boyks buys a lot of these movies, and we have like podcast fees and things like that. So it does help us a lot to make sure that we're able to keep getting these movies done and make it worth our while. I really do appreciate it a lot. It means a lot for us getting support. You can also email us. We're roughcutscast@gmail.com, or you can follow us on social media. We have a TikTok where we post up some little bits of videos of this, and we also have an account on Blue Sky where we're Rough Cuts. And that's where you can find us.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, something's coming in. Oh, yeah, here. I wrote this down on paper. Can you look at this real quick?
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Anyway.
All right.
I think we need to chat in private. Do you have Cool Talk on your computer?
Just downloaded it.
Log on when my parents go to bed around 11. I've got an idea. See ya.
But they're dogs. Just dogs.